horizontal vertical lines. So our target today is to recognize equations and slopes of horizontal and vertical lines. Plain and simple. If you have an equation of one variable, either an x or an y in it, they're going to be your special lines. So if we have any kind of horizontal line, it doesn't matter where you put this on the graph, it looks something like this. The equation is always going to be y equals a number. And usually it's the y-intercept, and we call that b. So example, y equals 5. Okay? Or in this case, I think I went through 4. So maybe I'll just do y equals 4. Slope is 0 because the rise is 0 and the run is whatever number. So 0 over any number is 0. The slope of any vertical line, again, doesn't matter where you put it. I'm putting it through -3 on the x-axis. That's going to have an equation x equals a number. Let's call it a. So this one is x equals -3. Another way is finding where it's crossing the x-axis. It's crossing at -3, so x equals -3. If it's a horizontal line, it's crossing at 4 on the y-axis, y equals 4. Vertical line, any slope is an undefined slope for a vertical line. Because the rise is a number all over the run, which there is no run. You can't have 0 in the denominator, so you get an error in your calculator, so we call it an undefined slope. Okay? So with these different questions on your assignment, it says, what is the slope of the following lines? So I want you to recognize which one would be a horizontal, which one would be a vertical, and what would the slope be. So in this case, you have y equals -4. Notice there's a missing variable, an x. So therefore, it has the same equation as a horizontal line, and any horizontal line has slope 0. Now this one is a review. This one has a y, has an x. So this is not a special line. This is in the y equals mx plus b form where the slope here is -3 and the y-intercept is 0, 0. So here you have to identify and recognize that the slope is -3. This one has a special line because it only has one variable, x equals a number. But don't be misled and think that the slope's 2/3. This is a vertical line, and any vertical line has an undefined slope. So you need to recognize that. It's just recalling those different definitions. Okay? So that's identifying the slope. Next, it says the following equations are what kind of lines. So remember, we talked about it the other day, horizontal, vertical, or an oblique line. So here, x equals 4, that's one of those special lines where you have just the variable x. So therefore, it's one of those special lines in the form of a vertical line. So this one is a vertical line. Okay? This one, y equals 1/3 x. You have both variables, so therefore it's in the form of y equals mx plus b, where here it's going to be one of those diagonal lines with a positive slope. So what I'm looking for here is an oblique line. This one, y equals 7/5, has one variable, recognize it's a horizontal line, y equals a number, so therefore I'm looking for the word horizontal. So just keep in mind, if you see one variable, that means it's a special line, either vertical or horizontal. And maybe one way to remember is maybe an acronym that I kind of use is a horizontal line, horizontal, 0 slope, y-axis. So I kind of remember HOY. Vertical lines have an undefined slope, and it's going through the x. So you can kind of think of something like French, woo, or something. Something to remember to help you. Now on the back page, it says write the equation of each problem hint. Let's say, look at the slope to help you. So here you have a slope of m equals 0. So hint is probably going to have an equation y equals a number because it's a horizontal line. Now, if you need some help, maybe you can sketch 5, 8. There's that point. And if it has a slope of 0, that means it's going to be a horizontal line. And it's going through this point, which would be over 5 up 8. So it's going through the y-axis at 8. So you have y equals 8 as your equation. So sketch the graph if you need to with this. Now here, we can find the slope of any given 2 points, okay? But in this case, if you want, you're looking for the equation, so maybe it might just help to kind of sketch the graph. So 7 up 6 is right here, and 7 down -5. So it's going through those 2 points, so it looks like a vertical line. And if you're going over 7 both times, it's going through the x-axis at 7. So therefore, it has an equation x equals 7. That's how I would go about those types of questions. Next, when you graph the equation, you want to find the slope and find the y-intercept. So sometimes with these, it's easier to graph these. So I would find the 5 on the y-axis. And because it's in the form of a horizontal line, it's going to go left to right. Okay? So here, your slope is 0 with the y-intercept at 0, 5. So when you graph something, state your slope, state your intercept, and then graph the line. Okay? Here, you want to find the -3 on the x-axis. So find -3, going through that point. Now it has an equation just with the variable x, so therefore it's a vertical line going through -3. So therefore the slope is undefined, but you don't have a y-intercept here. You actually have an x-intercept. And that x-intercept is -3, 0. We talked about those intercepts, mostly y-intercepts, but this one's an x-intercept. And then lastly, I'm going to give you a graph, and you have to identify the equation. So you're kind of working backwards. It's kind of hard to see. So what you have to do is it's going through the x-axis at the 4. So it would be x equals 4. Same thing here. This is going through the y-axis at 3, 4, 5, -6. So y equals -6. So those are different types of questions I may ask regarding the horizontal and vertical lines. All right. Good luck on your assignment.